What's up, my people? Welcome back to The Brick, the only show that builds basketball one basket at a time. You can see it in the background. We are building basketball. People are coming out here to play basketball. You know, my name is Kevin Mahong. I'm enrolling solo. My man Juice, you know, out here with the basketball, the lifestyle. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. We got some really interesting things. 2 weeks ago, there was the NBA All-Star. We're going to talk about the new format, Juice.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the three-point shootout.
That's correct.
We're going to talk about the dunking competition.
That's correct.
Yeah, and obviously, you see, we're not rolling with my man Q, because Q is out there in Dakar. He gets the free ticket to fly out to Senegal, get to cover the second leg, I believe, of the FIBA World Champs qualifiers.
Correct.
That's right. So you gotta fact check me here, man.
I mean, that's our guy. He'll fact check himself.
That's right.
Passport gang.
That's right.
That's our guy, though.
Yeah, he's our guy. He's our guy. And also, we'll be talking about the event that was supposed to happen, but unfortunately, and God goes, I mean, we all go to, you know, our hearts goes out to Ricky Rick's family because of Ricky Rick's death. Unfortunately, that Hennessy event's not going to be going down, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to tell you, Juice is going to tell you all about what was supposed to happen. And, man, there's a lot of things that's going on. ICSL is about to go down. JBL is about to go down.
Right.
And we got an amazing guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today that you're going to be seeing sitting right here with me is none other than Mothiba. The man himself, my captain. He's played, I'm sure, over 2,000 games by now.
Man,
well, I'm going to have to fact check that.
He's an Iron Man, you know, one of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
Still doing it to this day.
Yeah.
One of the best competitors.
That's right.
But we're definitely going to get into it with him, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions to ask him. I mean, right now he's holding different, like platforms. He was appointed as the second administrator, or is it the vice administrator? I'm not too sure. Gareth was the administrator, or he was a co-administrator, and now Gareth is not there. Now he's there. I need to find out what's going on with GBA, where exactly it's going to happen. I mean, for me, without GBA, I don't know if basketball in South Africa can actually take off. I mean, you have the three main regions. You got Gauteng, you got KZN, you got Western Cape.
Correct.
All the other ones are important, but those three is really where the big players come from. And if we don't fix that, we might as well forget about basketball.
Fully agree. And
yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about it before that, Gauteng doesn't have a representative within the PSA body.
You know?
The main. And that's one of the conversations that are continuing to take place to say, okay, now that the exec is looking that way, how is Gauteng then going to feed into DSA and stuff like that? And I suppose those are some of the things we'll pick up.
That's right. So I'm going to be chopping it up with him, and he's going to be telling us exactly what his plans are, what he needs. And yes, this thing is not an easy thing, especially when a person has got other things that he's involved in. He's playing, he's got a job, he's got a wife, he's got a kid. I mean, come on, man. You know, you can only do so much. Basketball really needs everybody to help. So we're going to be chopping it up. I want to know exactly what went down. And of course, want to hear what his views are with BNL.
BNL, yeah.
And of course, we're going to talk about BNL, and of course, we're going to be talking about BAL.
Yeah.
And I know he was asked to go to trials with the BAL Tigers. Now that the Tigers are in the BAL, I'm not too sure if you need to go to trials if you're talking about somebody with that kind of mileage when it comes to basketball, man.
So imagine a situation where Jerry Colangelo phones a LeBron James to say, LeBron, Team USA has got a camp in Las Vegas. Why don't you come for trials? So, yeah.
LeBron James, right? Okay. All right. LeBron James. So we got our own LeBron James here in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Mothiba. So you heard it from James. That's what he calls it. But hey, we're going to be hearing all about that. But before we go there, you'll hear it from him. Yes, talk about NBA All-Star, man. Let's get right into it. I mean, look, it was a different format now. The Rising Stars. Normally it's two teams, two coaches. They put it out there, they get to play, and then that's it, right? And a lot of the criticism was there's really nothing to play for, so the games are all about just showcasing dunks, and there's not really anything to it. The way I remember it is that the sophomores versus the rookies, and then they play it out, and generally you expect the sophomores to win it out. But it's a little different this year. What's your view of it?
It's a little different, and I think this is part of the NBA just trying trying to maximize on All-Star Weekend and the entire experience, and just trying to see how they can best, put in as much of the activities as possible within the weekend, And I mean, this year, normally it's rookies versus sophomores, but this year they had a different format where you had a tournament format of 4 different teams.
4 different teams.
And just these guys going at each other and a final, playoff and then the final.
And they're playing to 50. They're not playing the full game, so it's almost like you're chasing a certain score.
There you go.
Which is pretty cool. So it's faster. It's high intensity.
High intense, and that's I suppose part of the experiments that the NBA tries to run and just say it's All-Star Weekend. It's all about having fun. So let's see how we can, always keep changing it and stuff like that.
I must admit, Juice, I like the format.
Yeah.
First of all, I think some of these games are just too long to just watch one game. Now imagine if you're sitting there 3 hours, it's just a little too much. So that for me is a thing. They cut down. You're playing to a score, and it makes it competitive because you want to win and go to the finals, which is pretty cool.
There you go.
So personally, I think they did a good thing there.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, because the last thing you also want to see is just guys, just being models on the court and just no defense and everything's just lackluster. So you're playing to a target, you want to win. So go out there, show out, put on the show and just win the game. And I fully agree with you on that, So again, it's just the entertainment aspect of it, of the NBA saying, okay, let's give you guys a target, but let's see you guys go out there and have your fun. But at the end of the day, someone has to win. So you definitely want to,
Yeah, so I like the fact that also they've got the coaches in the NBA. I think it's assistant coaches that were in there, if I'm not mistaken, and also the honorary coaches from the legends.
Yes, your James Worthy.
That's right.
That was fun to see.
That's right.
Because now the NBA again, they continue to say, all our legends, let's bring them in. Let's find things and ways to incorporate them into the whole weekend, and especially now with the 75 great players that we just, re-announced and during the entire weekend. So again, it's just the NBA saying, all our legends, let's come in, let's have a whole bunch of fun, and let's get you out in the spotlight once again.
75 years of NBA existence. Ladies and gentlemen, NBA has been there for a long time. We got a long way to go. Anything that we start doesn't last past 10 years. So I'm hoping that we can learn a thing or two. Let's get to the three-point shootout, man. And the dunk competition. Your views?
So before we go into the dunk contest, I need a drink.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. By the way, as per tradition, like whenever our main man Q, who has worked in the alcohol industry, is not here, we forget about the tradition.
Yes.
What have you got for us today, man?
So this is one of my favorite.
It's all about lifestyle, right?
This is one of my favorite picks of the Irish. This is gunpowder Irish gin.
Okay.
And I drink a lot of gin and wine.
Right.
And within my range of gin, this is definitely a favorite.
Right.
And some of the people that I've introduced it to, they've actually told me that this really gone up the ranks and become one of the best gins that they've ever tasted,
It looks like a little mug, man. Is that enough for like a bunch of bottles trying to play?
So let me tell you. So it comes in 500 mils and 750 mils, right? But for today, I was like, let me bring out the 500 mils because you don't want to, go hoo-ha on it. But for the legends that we have today as a guest as well, I think this is something that he's going to enjoy.
Man, pop this thing.
So let's
pop this thing so we can taste it. We taste it raw, right? We taste it raw.
Yeah. I mean, DB, baby, I like it raw. Come on, man. so yeah.
All right. It's a family show, so you might as well disregard that, ladies and gentlemen. So while Juice is doing that, I must admit, last week we popped the Chinese vodka. Man, I brought it back. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna taste your thing, but I might just
revert.
I might just revert back to
the
But
Chinese.
before we do that, I mean, we got. Let's see.
That's ice in there. That's all ice.
That ice? Is that ice?
Yeah, that's all ice in there.
I want to make sure I taste the gin. So I don't want it diluted. So let's see what it tastes like. So if it's Irish, in Chinese they say, oh, is it Japanese? Ushi, right? In Irish, so in Ireland we just go cheers. Cheers.
I mean,
yeah.
Bottoms up.
It's not bad. It's smooth.
Ooh, let me tell you.
Smooth. So this is the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's got basketball. We got basketball up in the background. We got the lifestyle element when it comes.
We got the drinks.
We got the drinks. Yes, for everybody else out there, Sheriff and the production team, unfortunately, you know.
Yeah. They gotta stay sharp. So.
That's right. So
water. Water.
That's right. Before we even go to our next segment, we need to talk a little bit about what's going on when it comes to league. I know you administrate some of the young legends, and you know what's going on in terms of JBL and ICSL. I don't know if you were fired in the group. I saw some things happening, but you can tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Are the legends playing in any of this? Or?
Shout out to Coach Flosh. Man.
I got the inside scoop.
No, man, but we're going to talk about the NBA dunk contest, the 3-pointers, right?
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm well ahead of myself now.
Again, I think the 3-point contest continues to be one of the more interesting events throughout All-Star Weekend, simply because as part of the evolution of the game.
That's right.
The 3-point shot is...
Hello, yellow bone, Steph Curry, me and you will see each other.
Even me, I can shoot. Where's the camera?
You're not yellow bone enough.
Where's my camera? Even me, I can shoot.
You're not yellow bone enough.
Even me, I can shoot.
Anyway, you were saying?
So, with the evolution of the game, you know, the 3-point shot now continues to be a recognized stat.
That's right.
In the game. If you look at some of the statistics currently, you know, you'll see somebody scored 50 points, and they'll actually mention how many 3-pointers he made.
That's right.
So, now, that contest, you know, and again, it's Steph Curry's fault.
Yeah.
You know, Carl Anthony Towns.
That's right. He's a center.
A center for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's right.
He's been saying, you know, he's been talking about it for so long that he's the best shooting big man in the game.
That's right.
And he wanted to go out there and prove it. And sure enough, he came out firing. You know, I mean, in the first round.
It's not like the little guys were shady either. Those guys were,
you know, you had some of the best shooters right now in the game, with the exception of Steph, of course. I think he just wanted to he was saving energy because we saw what he went on to do in the main game.
That's right.
But yeah, he definitely had some of the best shooters in the game right now. And Carl Anthony just came out, man. You know, he put on a show, and that was beautiful to see.
And the commentators were talking about now he's probably going to end up there about 25 points, 26 points. He hit it 29 points.
29. He went up
so
to
that
29,
was a big win.
Which was actually a record as well.
Tell me about the dunking competition. Or do you need a drink?
The dunk.
Do you need a drink before you talk about the dunk competition?
I think the dunk contest, you know, now and then we see a very terrible dunk contest.
Yeah.
And I think, without a doubt, this one was one of the worst that we've seen in a very long time. Because more than anything, you know, you've got some of the great dunkers in the game right now. But if you go out there and you try to do too much, yeah, it might work in the gym. But once the lights are on, it's a different story.
I must admit, you know, the best dunking competition I've enjoyed of all time.
Yeah.
In the time that I knew basketball and understood what it was about, was the year before, was it 2 years ago? Was the boy from Orlando at the time, and he was jumping
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon
versus Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine. I think that was the best, and in fact, I did not agree with the judges.
Outcome, yeah.
With the judges.
I think to this day, they still blame Dwayne Wade for that, because at one point he
was doing amazing. But outside of that, man, I think also the fact that you have to be creative kinds of, you know, like really puts a bit of a challenge to try and really do what it is that you do, because people are starting to go crazy trying to do crazy stuff.
And that's the thing, that as a dunker myself, I think one of the best things, I don't know why people are laughing.
Okay.
One of the best things, or one of the more basic things that you can do is go there and do what you do.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, I may have won a few dunk contests here and there. I must just check myself. And I remember just going on
production.
And
fact check that real quick.
Doing what you do. You know, you're one of the best dunkers. I mean, everyone in the NBA is regarded an elite athlete, and you cannot take that away from them.
Right.
But when there's that separation of, okay, now throughout the entire league, there's only 4 of us partaking in this, let me just go out there and do what I know I can do. You know, fans have seen me dunk in game and all that, and
I think the fact that we even talked about the dunking competition for more than 2 minutes, I think is giving it way too much time.
Actually,
because this year we'll talk about it next year. And then let's talk about finally and quickly about what everybody else went there for. The final game, LeBron versus KD's team. What was your view?
Sadly, another year where KD misses out on the All-Star game due to injury.
Yep.
But again, you know, the best players in the league, in the world, arguably, going out there and putting on a show.
That's right.
And, you know, the headline was all about LeBron coming back to Cleveland, playing in Cleveland.
He had to choose Steph Curry for that. Hey, obviously, Steph Curry can make or break a team sometimes.
And again, Steph also born in Akron as well. So there was just that storyline.
I didn't know that.
I mean, trust me about it.
Hello, the Brit. You know, teach me a thing or two.
So yeah, you know, but you love to see your guys coming out and doing it. You know, your Joel Embiid, your Giannis Antetokounmpo. But more than anything, it's the younger guys coming up that you also enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
You know, your Ja Morants, your Trey Youngs.
He had a dunk. Ja Morant had a dunk that everybody was, everybody else was excited about a dunk in a game than actually in the dunk contest. So,
absolutely. Really cool. And that's another thing that, you know, everyone's like, yeah, but why wasn't he in the dunk contest? You know, but
he said the hoop is too low. Maybe next time we'll think about it.
There you go. You know, and I mean, there'll be one or two people in the corners of the world right now still asking why LeBron has never been in the dunk contest. You know, again, spotlight when the lights are on, it's a different story.
That's right.
So yeah, but more than anything,
Steph hit the record.
You loved to see, you know, the show that Steph put on.
Yeah,
you know, he was 2 points shy. He was 2 points shy from the record.
Yeah.
But looking at all the 16 3-point shots that he took.
And crazy ones. It wasn't like he wasn't guarded like normally it would be, you know. It was a good show. And of course, LeBron hitting the last shot.
LeBron again, headline, last shot at home. Now everyone's like, might he be coming back to Cleveland? You know, because also of the statement that he released prior to the All-Star weekend to say whatever team is going to draft his son, he's looking to go play with his son.
Talking about Dallas or whatever.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we talked a lot about NBA and whatever. So the leagues that are starting, I know ICSL is starting on Sunday.
Absolutely.
We're playing as the Mambas on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean,
what up?
I'm hoping that somebody is going to cover that. See, we need to talk about that. And JBL, of course, when is JBL starting?
JBL, right now, they had their playoffs. For the
are we playing off division. Before we even start?
No. It's 4 teams that are competing to.
Oh, the relegation. Right. Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that was very dope. Seeing some of the videos last weekend, and yeah, that was some great action. So now people are lacing up for another interesting season of the JBL, especially because last year it was a tournament format that didn't really end too well. Right. So. This year, everyone is just lacing up, coming back in to say, all right, let's put on a show. And hopefully COVID doesn't deter any points of that, you know.
Well, the good thing is that 2 days ago, we were told that for the first time, was it yesterday actually? It was yesterday. For the first time, there was no death due to COVID. So I don't think COVID is going to be an issue. And of course, my son was playing out there, both of them actually, they were playing at the St. John's tournament. It went down good. Unfortunately, it was rained out. Not too sure exactly what went down. Do you know who won the whole thing, the seniors?
St. John's, I think our guest will be, you know, one of the people that we can speak to because of his hands that he's got within
the St. John's
the high school game. You know?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be chatting to Neo Mothiba. He's out here waiting to also partake in whichever one that he seems to like. We'll be back. Yeah, welcome back. The break was still here, and I did promise you that I got none other than Mothiba, the captain, my captain. This man has been playing basketball for as long as, okay, not for as long as I've been alive, because I've been alive a long time. Nell, my brother, welcome to the break. It was about time, my man. Welcome, yes, welcome. Are you sure you can drink? Because like sometimes when you drink, you get fined or something. In other teams. Are you sure you can drink?
No, I think I work too hard.
You work too hard.
I get these moments.
You get these moments. It's all right, right?
Like 3-4 times a week. So
3-4 times a week. Yeah. Welcome to the break. It's been a long time coming. You know you belong here, man. You know you belong here because when you talk basketball, you gotta talk now.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I mean, I've been looking forward to it.
To the drinks, I heard.
Not necessarily drinks per se, but listen. I mean, your drinking cabinet is world renowned. So I guess that was something to look forward to. But thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I hope you enjoy Juice's gunpowder Irish gin. Hey, maybe I should stop drinking.
When I heard it was from Juice, I was like, you know what? Maybe in moderation. Easy does it.
Yeah, easy does it. Well, let's get straight into it, man. These are the three things I wanted to talk about, but we're going to talk about basketball in general. But first things first, we're going to be talking about GBA. You were the administrator, the co-administrator, the deputy administrator, or whatever that is, and we're going to talk about your views on BNL. We're going to talk about your views on the Tigers, what happened. I mean, you were supposed to be part of the Tigers, and it didn't go down. I mean, that will be interesting to hear from you. And basically, any other thing that you think is worth talking about. But those are the three main things, man, And let's jump straight into it. GBA, without Gauteng Basketball Association, what is basketball in South Africa? I mean, obviously, I think the fact that you're involved in that's a good thing because you got heart for basketball, you got love for basketball. I don't know if you have all the time because you got so many things that you have to be worried about. What is going on?
I think, well, when it comes to GBA, I think we made good progress in the past, 2 years, administratively, in order to get, all the districts in order and to make sure that should we actually be in a position to go for basketball South Africa, at least our base is legit. And I think most of the districts actually were able to get to where we need to get to. Obviously, the hurdles.
You're talking about compliance-wise.
Yes, compliance-wise, administratively. Right. So I think most of the districts actually made strides in order to make sure that we comply as a province. Because as much as we want to build a proper basketball South Africa, we need to have a retrospect and say, listen, you know what, maybe our roof is not standing solely because our foundation is not as strong as we thought it was. So we made inroads, as I said, with the Gauteng Sports Confederation, who were put in charge by Basketball South Africa to actually try and get Gauteng, to comply with BSA and also the maladministration that was happening with the previous regime. And as I said, most of the districts did come to the fold, especially, from Tshwane, Joburg, and Ekurhuleni. And obviously, Sedibeng and West-Rand.
Mogale City, yeah.
Yes. So when I was made deputy administrator for Gauteng, which was last year, our main focus was to actually try and finish off what we tried to start 2 years ago, which was make sure that each and every district is compliant.
Did you get paid for that?
Well, you know how it is. It's all for the love.
Okay.
It's basically,
just to be sure, just now somebody says they charged the money, they did nothing.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. People in their corners will always say whatever they need to say. But I mean, sticking to the point is that now, the one thing that I've always told people in the many meetings that we've had is that basketball people, and I'm talking from players, coaches, everybody, all the stakeholders, we need to stop, it's a South African problem, we need to stop looking for saviors. Just because this person was successful playing doesn't necessarily mean that he'll make a good coach, and we need to be able, the stakeholders need to be the people who are actually running the sport and people who actually have the passion, and I think that's the best example would be Joburg Basketball Association, where the clubs actually took charge of the association and made sure that they put it where it's supposed to be. And they've done a great job so far. So now the districts need to mandate what Gauteng basketball needs to do. Basketball in Gauteng is not run by its office somewhere in Johannesburg or Ellis Park. It's run by the people on the ground. And now the people on the ground are looking up and saying, listen, we need a savior, we need somebody to take. That unfortunately will not bear fruit. Gauteng basketball is there as a custodian, as an enabler, someone who's a link between the actual people on the ground and the people who can get them resources to be able to do what they need to do on the ground. That's one thing people need to understand. Gauteng basketball, just like basketball South Africa, cannot go to Soshanguve, for instance, and say, listen, we need to run a club. No, it's the people on the ground and people actually mandating and holding people accountable. You can't hold me accountable if you haven't told me exactly what I need to do.
In fact, stop right there. What were you supposed to do as an administrator? Okay, what was Gareth supposed to do? What were you supposed to do? And now that Gareth left, and if you know why, tell us why. But now that he's gone and you're at the helm, what is everybody supposed to expect from the fact that now Mothiba is at the helm of Gauteng Basketball Association? And what would cause, or at least what would say that Nel was successful or Nel was not successful? Give us a view of what it is that people must expect.
I think the one thing that I need to get straight is that the position that we were given, myself and Gareth, Jason, was merely to make sure that we communicate with the districts and we make sure that the districts come forward and we actually are able to have elections which we will have a legitimate association for Gauteng basketball. The one thing that obviously we're still busy with and that I also have to put straight is that I'm not the head of Gauteng Basketball Association.
You're the administrator.
I'm basically the person, I'm an administrator, so I am the middle person between the Gauteng Confederation and obviously Basketball South Africa. But that does not give me any power to be able to implement any change because that needs to be drawn by the districts. What I can do as an administrator is make sure that the district's voices are heard through the meeting that I've been having with the Confederation. But the one thing that we need to understand is that we are back at square one at the moment, solely because of what happened last year with us not complying when we needed to have elections and all of that. And we took a step back because then...
What makes these elections so difficult? I mean, obviously the districts exist. So it's just a matter of calling the districts. Guys, come through, have an election. You are represented by, you have a representative for each and every district. Everybody gets into a room, elections happen, we need this position, that position. It's jotted down, it's compliant, and then you have your chairperson and elected, and it's as easy as that. I mean, what makes that so difficult?
I think that is the misconception that everybody has, is that it's that simple. It's simple when you look at it from the outside, but I guess everybody who's involved in any organization understands that there's policies and protocols that happen in any organization, where decisions have to be made. So what derailed the process, we were well into having our elections. We had meetings with all the stakeholders and everything was supposed to be, running smoothly. But as I said, administrators are the ones that let the process down. Where, in any election, even in politics, before you get to elections, there has to be nominees. There has to be people need to, adhere to deadlines in order for people to be able to, the people who are running the elections, in order to have all fact check and everything done. And unfortunately, that did not happen. Right. And yes, everybody will come and, give their story. Every district will tell you, no, we did this because the lights were out, we couldn't find anyone. But at the end of the day, that's where we dropped the ball as districts. And it made it easier. I don't think the Gauteng Sports Confederation actually wants this baby on their hands anymore. Right. They want to give it to basketball people. But unfortunately, you cannot give somebody a broken vehicle and then expect them to ride freely into the sunset. Right. So they're trying to make sure that everything keeps running. That way, when they leave, then we don't have to go back to them, and try and look for handouts again.
So essentially, the way I'm hearing you is that people do not respect or do not follow compliance procedures in order for these elections to be legitimate?
In a nutshell. That's one thing we need to understand. And, you know, and solely because running a basketball program, at the moment, it's a voluntary thing. Yep. You volunteer. So most of the people that are running these districts are volunteers. And their times, they're torn between their families, they're playing and everything else, and their priorities are not the same as everybody else.
Right.
So that's where now the problem comes in, where, listen, do you have a plan on how you're actually going to get to the next level, which is making sure that we are legitimate association in Gauteng, which will automatically make sure that we become a legitimate member of Basketball South Africa. Now, if that does not happen from the grassroots level, unfortunately, we will still be going around in circles and applauding people who just come and give us a small percentage of what we are actually worth and look at it as if it's something huge solely because we are starved of good programs. No. So that's the one thing I want to let people understand is that the people that you elect, the people that you put forward as your representative, first and foremost, you need to give them a mandate. You need to give them timelines. You need to understand what their vision is and how they need to get there. And obviously, you cannot nominate someone this week, elect him the following week, and then expect them to go and run a world-class program without having, obviously, the time to get their resources and to be able to set their vision and say, listen, this is my vision for the sport. If you agree with me, let's talk. So you can't be in isolation.
If now is to be successful in this role as an administrator, by when and what should have happened?
Well, I mean, my vision was for us to actually have a proper running association before even the Basketball South Africa elections.
That was last year.
That was last. This process can be started even 2 years ago. Whoa. In December.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I should just kind of like
at Ellis Park where the administrators and some of the representatives from the districts were actually into the process of trying to get this legit. But we scrapped the constitution. We made a new constitution to make sure that we were up to par with SASCOC and Basketball South Africa and obviously all the federations. And then the problem comes in where, it's not a problem, it's a challenge. And I think it's something that we can overcome. And that's one thing that I wanted to do, to make sure that all this, behind the scenes stuff is actually taken care of. I don't want to be, at the moment, I don't want to be the head of Basketball South Africa because I believe the job needs to be done at the lower end. My baby is basketball in Gauteng, basketball in Tshwane, basketball in Soshanguve. That's my thinking. So everybody can say, everybody wants a top spot. I understand. At some point, I'm sure I'll aspire to be there. But I understand that if I'm going to take over an empire, this place, basketball is an empire and it's untapped. But if you're going to take over that kind of a role, you need to make sure that you are stepping into a mansion that is actually got good roots and it's based on representing the people that are under you, not serving yourself and your ambitions. And that's one thing that I've always done, whether I'm playing or anything else. So in order for us to be successful, we need to get the right people in. Don't get people in solely because you've seen them play.
You are the right person?
I could be the right person, but you cannot have one person. You need people around that person. You need people who are capable of actually making meaningful contributions in terms of the whole diaspora of basketball.
That's right.
Yeah, so
now that we missed that deadline, what now?
So what now? I think the ball still stays on the stakeholders in basketball. All it takes is Johannesburg Basketball Association, Tshwane Basketball Association, CDB Basketball Association, Ekurhuleni Basketball, and West Rand to come together and say, listen, there are people that are being put in front for us to see as our leaders, which is myself and the Sports Confederation. Let's mandate them. Give these people a deadline. Tell them what you need to see happen. And then from there, you can have a conversation in terms of how do we collaborate into making sure that our vision, and by our vision, I mean everyone, a combined, everyone. And then we say, listen, where do we want to go? And I will give my vision, you will give your vision, masters will give their vision, everybody will give their vision. And then from there, compromises will be made and priorities will be, battle lines will be drawn. And then from there, we'll move forward. But at the moment, we're still in that situation where everybody's pulling in 5 different directions, solely because we cannot meet on one Saturday to sit down and say, Bafwetu, let's go with 8 hours on this Saturday, let's cancel everything, let's sit down and draw a plan for Gauteng Basketball Association. Because I believe if we can get Gauteng Basketball Association right, we will get Basketball South Africa right. That is my belief. And anybody else that feels is contrary to that is more than welcome to hit me up and see what's there. Yeah.
And it's the truth. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. It's really all about getting Gauteng Basketball Association running. And if you are a stakeholder in any of the districts in Gauteng and you know that this meeting must happen and it's not happening, then the fault is on you. Stop blaming it on Cabby or NEL or BSA or whatever. Ultimately, you have to be sitting at that table and you have to be mandating someone to be able to take Gauteng Basketball Association to the next level. Now let's pause there. We will get back to it. And those people know that this is what they need to do. Tell me about what happened with the Tigers, man. You went to a what? You had to go and what? Trial.
Well, firstly, we were leading 15 points against the Tigers.
And I was watching that game. I was in Cape Town watching that thing online. I was like, oh, look at this, man. Yeah. Tigers might not even make it. This is the game that decides. I mean, you went in overtime in that game.
Yeah. I think it's every basketball player's dream.
That's right.
To be able to play at the highest level in the land.
Oh.
To be able to, especially since it was televised,
That's right. Thanks to the sheriff, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out.
That's right.
Yeah, and for the mere fact that you always go home and have to tell people around, like at a campfire and say, let me tell you what happened. Now they actually got to see it. So I can't really lie to them anymore. But
and they can press play right now.
That thing is
in the cloud.
Screenshots and all of that. But yeah, when that happened, and then unfortunately we lost in overtime. I mean, they were a better team. That's one thing that we realized. But we gave it our best shot. I mean,
right.
we had our mistakes, but best teams capitalize on the other team's mistakes. So then what happened after that was that I went, I think they went to the Zone 6 qualifiers, where they played in Johannesburg.
I was there. I was calling some of the games.
I saw you running up and down, cleaning
calling
floors.
Some of the games. I don't even call games, but hey, you have to do whatever it took, right? We say,
hey, listen,
sometimes let's do whatever it takes to see the game go forward.
You gotta have agility to be successful in life. You know what I mean? You gotta start from the janitor to the CEO.
I was cleaning toilets, man.
No, but it was good to see, and for me, it was huge for South African basketball.
It was huge.
I'm a kind of person who's always able to compartmentalize and think things through in their own spaces. That was a huge initiative that was taken by the Cape Town team,
and they won it all.
Well, yeah, okay, they won it all.
That particular one,
or it could be that the other team lost it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, after that, and then obviously the team expressed the willingness to have me.
Well, they went to the second championship. Remember, there was the first round and then the second round. Yeah.
Yeah, they went to the first one where they were playing.
They won it all?
Then they won it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
At UJ.
At UJ.
And then they went to Wembley.
And then when they went to Wembley.
And the Elite 18, Elite 16.
Yes, Elite 16.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the one.
And yeah.
And then obviously I was contacted by the...
Then they qualified. People must know exactly why. Then they qualified.
They qualified for the second round.
For the second round. For the BAL. They qualified for the BAL due to COVID issues and whatever. There was obviously issues there. And then they were in and they were ready to go to the BAL top 12 teams and... Selepa was called in before.
No, I think a point of correction. I think.
Oh yeah.
So what happened was that they had not qualified for BAL yet.
Right.
That's where I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
So that was the second round where they played at Wembley.
Right.
So the Wembley competition qualified them for BAL.
Oh, but they called you up before the Wembley.
Before the Wembley championship.
Got you. Okay.
So so I was asked to by the general manager to come and try out.
Try out. What exactly is trying out?
I don't know. It took me back to when I was 16, when you get an SMS and they say, listen, all under 17s in Soshanguve must come to Motlakeng Stadium. You get there wide-eyed, nervous, start looking at people and say, hey, but this guy and this guy. That was that situation. But anyway.
Okay.
So I mean, I with the help of my wife, I was like, okay, it's fine, I will do it.
And where were these trials?
I humbled myself. They were in Pretoria, luckily.
All right.
In
Pretoria, it's around the corner from here.
So, me being the man that I am, and I humbled myself, and I said, okay, you know what, I'll go and try out. I mean, I had a good tryout. While everybody was talking about it, who were there and witnessed the trial, they said, it was a shoe-in. So, it was like, okay, that's fine, but let me keep on going. But then...
And no issues with Josie Nuggets. It was like one of those where you had already had a chat with the coach and it's like, it's cool, you can do it.
That's one thing that I've always done. And that's sort of thing is that I like things done properly. You know what I mean?
I like that.
As you know, I've been playing for Josie Nuggets for about 12 years now. And Josie Nuggets have taken care of me as a player. They've given me opportunities to go to Swaziland, to play, all over, wherever I represent Josie Nuggets.
Right.
So if you want me to go and join whichever team, I think Josie Nuggets is more than willing to do that. But things have to be done on the right way. So that's what happened. And then there were altercations, and I'm going to be frank, is that their star players felt intimidated.
Okay.
To a point where it became physical.
Star players and international players? Or
yeah. Some of the NBA guys were,
so basically
intimidated, yeah. So this kid from Soshanguve, and I loved it. I'm a competitor, but whatever happens, it goes back to my BNL days when we played against Duzi Royals.
That's right.
And in my head, I was thinking, listen, they've got Americans in this team, bro.
Yeah.
So which means this is where you need to be. This is where you need to put on a show. And obviously, you do your research and you target people and you're like, you know what? If I can guard that guy, he's supposed to be their star player. So even if I don't shut him down, it's like trying to shut down Jordan. You know he's going to get 36. The other day he might get hot and get 45. Right. But all I need to do is if I can go pound for pound with this guy. And then I did that, and I did
it. Recognized game.
100%, and I'm a kind of guy who always goes there, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I told these guys, listen, I'm not here to sit bench. I didn't come to this tryout. I'm here to learn the plays. Yes, coaches might think I'm trying out. Yeah, sure, that's what everybody puts out there. But I'm here to learn how to play with my future teammates.
Right.
And I don't think it clicked at that time to these guys that I'm not here to mess around. So obviously some people were touched emotionally.
Jesus.
And it got physical.
How do you mean physical?
Well, it got physical to a point where it was no longer about basketball.
Jeez.
It was now about people's egos and people feeling that, I'm a bully. Listen, basketball is all about, bullies get bullied.
I know, it's not documented, but apparently MJ was one big bully.
Yeah, you know how it is. But it's one of those things where if somebody lays down the gauntlet, you decide what you want to do. It's either you take it or you go home.
Right.
So you can't stand at the door and say 1 foot out, 1 foot in. And for me, that is one of the things that if I'm going to go to battle with you, I need to be able to see what kind of a person I'm going to battle with. I've played in national teams with people who felt that they don't deserve to be in the national team or don't deserve to be in whatever team. But I can recognize in this guy that, listen, this guy, if I take him anyway, he will lay his heart on the line.
So the bottom line, what happened then? I mean, you go to trials and then what?
And then obviously after it became physical, I've never actually been in a physical fight for basketball. Yes, it's gotten over to a point where, and then I told the coach that, you know what, the culture here is not what I thought it would be. I cannot, I've played African basketball for 15, 16 years. I know what these guys are, what we are going to be going against. And my job is not to go there and score 30 points for the team. My job is to prepare these guys to make sure that they know what they're getting into. So when I did that at practice or at my tryouts, I realized that these guys are what I call full glasses. They are not willing. Their glasses are already full. They can't take anymore. And that is a misconception on their behalf, because clearly they could, because they've just been had their asses handed to them by a 40-year-old. But anyway, that's irrespective. So, and it showed in the games at Wembley. So I told the coach, listen, the environment here for me is not conducive to the way that I want to play basketball.
Yeah.
And then I left camp.
Right.
And then the owners contacted me and asked me, listen, he apologized for what the guys did. They also mentioned that, you know, if I do want to come back, you know, I can come back and all that jazz. But at that time, my head was not in the proper space to be able to go back there and play. And I told all my teammates that were there, that were willing to listen to what I had to say. And they understood, because they were there with me and realized that there's no way this situation can be repaired.
So the system was not for you. They may have a system, but it wasn't a good match. It's almost like when you're looking for a job and they give you the job, but the job is not for you. So sometimes you might find that actually, as a potential employee to a position, you feel that it's not a good match.
I think it wasn't that extreme to a point where it wasn't a good match, because I believe that, you know, I'm agile enough to be able to adjust, you know, but at the end of the day, you look and you assess and you realize that, listen, these games are happening in 2 weeks, right? And also management was not upfront in terms of contracts and what's on offer and all of that. And then also, you know, many people reach out to me, and including the guys that were on the team, and they told me what they were crying about. And it took me back to my BNL days.
Talking about BNL.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So that's when I did. And then later on, after they qualified now for BAL.
Oh, right.
That wasn't done.
Oh, there was more after that.
Yeah, and then I got a call again from the manager.
Right.
Well, not a call, I got a text at 1:30 in the morning in December.
Okay.
In the heart of December.
It depends where you are, right? 1:30 in the morning in the US and 1:30 in the morning in South Africa, you know, it all depends.
You know what I mean?
It all depends.
I mean, WhatsApp, you can get it from here to Guantanamo Bay, but so, and we started the conversations again.
Right.
You know, and I told them, listen, you understand that obviously I've got a family, I've got a career, you know. So in
drop all of that. I mean,
to drop all of that and be able to do that. And then they said, okay, they'll come back to me. So I was like, okay, no, that's fine. Then a month went by. Then I contacted the manager again and said, listen, that was in the beginning of Jan. And I told him, listen, I've got a lot. I need to finalize my work schedule for them, because I already saw, you know, the dates for BAL, and I realized that if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have to be away a month at a time. So I was like, okay, just, you know, let's sort this out, contracts and everything, and then from there I can get away from work.
Oh, you can? No, that's
yeah,
good.
I can. I mean, it's one of those things where you just plan properly, and then nothing happened.
So you can't plan.
And then 6 weeks later, I get a call. 6 weeks, I mean, on Sunday. And asking me, can I talk? So I was like, no thanks.
Okay.
And I listened. That's all I said in that telephone conversation. Yeah. No thanks. Because unfortunately, you know what, at the moment it was just basketball.
Right.
And I mean, you would know it. Yeah.
Right.
So in a nutshell,
well, you know,
yeah.
If our production crew was on point, we could get Ra on the line, but they're not on point. So unfortunately, we cannot get management of the Tigers on the line. But we hear you. That's your view, your side of the story. Always good to have both sides of the story. You know, this is self-made journalism. You gotta get both sides of the story. But we'll leave it at that. And I know if you have anything else to say, I'm sure you can say it. Everybody listens to The Brick, or at least anybody that matters listens to The Brick. So is there anything that you want to say out there to the basketball world out there? before we go to BNL? I know you got things to talk about BNL.
No, I'm done with the Tigers. I'm good.
You're done with the Tigers?
Yeah.
Tell me about BNL, man. What's your feeling about it? I mean, obviously, like you go a long way back with it. There was excitement around it. At some point you pulled out. I mean, what's happening now? What is the latest?
Oh, you know what? BNL is one of those conundrums that you will never understand. It's amazing how we actually missed this ship. It's amazing how we missed this opportunity to be one of the greatest leagues in Africa. I'm not talking about the greatest basketball nations in Africa, but to have one of the best leagues, to rival your Angola. And
if you had to blame one person, who would it be?
Well, one person, I would blame the basketball community. To me, that is one.
That's clever. I see what you did there. Hey.
No, because let me tell you something. If you know what? Let me tell you something, Kenny.
It's clever.
If you go and if you try and blame me, if if you try and blame LeBron James for the Lakers not doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
He can easily divert that conversation and say, I'm not getting 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not doing this. So it's always a collective. You know, there's always a plethora of things that leads to that. But you can always pinpoint things like administration, things like players themselves, player development. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen, and you can't blame players because players will tell you we don't get the resources. You can't blame the league because the league will tell you now we're putting on, a product that's not to the point where we can get the resources. So then we're all sitting in our corners and thinking, let's all just sit there and nothing is happening. So now you see why, in my view, it has digressed to a point where, listen, there are some kids that were playing in the St. John's tournament that can run these teams down,
Sure.
No, that's real talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, St. John's tournament is under 18 kids that play in South Africa. Just so you know, in case you're not from South Africa or you don't know about the St. John's tournament, this is what my man here is saying. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not player shaming or anything, but what I'm saying is that as an association, you need to have some kind of plan. And obviously you need to have proper introspection and say, listen, is our product actually worth selling? Like, let's think about it. If you were to sit down and watch a game of basketball, would you actually say, you know what, I might actually put some kind of resource in that? No, you wouldn't. Because you would rather spend a Saturday, I would rather spend a Saturday watching my daughter's friends play hockey.
Oh my God. And that's a basketball player saying that.
Yeah, no.
Wow. That's how bad basketball is. A basketball person might
obviously
watching hockey.
I've got history, so mine could be a little bit.
I'm just emphasizing just how bad you're viewing this. This is like a very big statement, and it's true. The reality is, if it's not something that is growing and going anywhere, then there's no point watching it.
Yeah. So for me, for people to always keep hoping that this ship at some point, will hit El Dorado, wherever the hell that is, that we will just bump into somebody who's got millions and say, listen, I'm willing to invest in this product. That is why we're in, I think it's in its 9th year now. We still don't have a sponsor, and the problem we have in basketball is the people's lack and disinterest in collaboration. You need to go back to these people that were playing, these so-called disgruntled players who were suspended, by the way.
So you're not allowed to play in the BNL?
I think I am, because I've been called a couple of times by GMs to go and play.
So which disgruntled players are the ones who've been banned from the BNL?
The ones who were banned at the time with no due process, without anything. So it's one of those things where that is where the league is lacking. And that's why I'm saying, everybody thinks it's easy to run this ship, as you were saying earlier on. But this is easy, man. Why can't you get the best players together? You got to be the GM behind the scenes and say, listen, Nell, what would it take for you to go and play in this league?
And what would it take for you to go play in this league?
And I will tell you, right? Is that prioritize players. But now, if you know, and if you have experience in any business, you understand that there's no single solution. Because that's why people, if you ask someone about Russia and Ukraine, and they say, make a decision, before they even decide, they know that, hey, if I make this decision, then I'm opening up this can of worms. So, which means if the league was to prioritize players, first and foremost, you got to make sure these guys are able to put their best foot forward when they play. Now, what would that mean? Firstly, obviously, you got to run a well-oiled program. You got to make sure that the players are ready. You got to pay these players what they're worth. In order, if you're going to tell me that I need to hit the gym, well, sir, can you please make sure that I actually get gym membership? If you give me gym membership, you got to make sure that I eat right. Sir, please, can I have some food to eat?
I need to eat right.
If you want me to rest, sir, can you please give me something that I can put over my head or a nice pillow where to sleep? So you understand why people run away from those conversations? Because if you speak to someone who's just someone who loves basketball, they'll ask you and say, no, you've got a big head. I turned down a huge amount of money when I was playing for a goalie Magic, just because the players were not being treated right. And everybody has, and I tell people, listen, if you have anything that you're not sure about, what people are saying about me, by all means, you've got my social media, and I'm sure you can find someone somewhere who's got my number, and you can hit me up, and I will tell you like it is. But
it's all about principle, and you got to be headstrong in this.
Yeah, that's what it is. So if someone is not willing to ask the right questions, you will never hear the right answers. And you will always have one-sided arguments all the time.
So given the management, the fact that the management will always give you the same answers to the questions that you ask from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, chances are you'll never go back there.
No. So if anything,
your professional basically you're done. Your professional basketball is done.
What is professional basketball?
Getting paid, not having to worry about any other job, making sure that your family can live off of basketball and you never have to worry about anything else but basketball as your focus. And the wife says?
So now,
I think I must get you on the seat.
No, I think the one thing we need to understand, and I'm going to be frank, right? I think I was probably one of two people in this country during BNL. That's 2016 when I was playing for a goalie Magic. That could realistically say, I can quit my job and play because that's how much money I was getting from basketball. No one else. No one else. I don't believe anybody was getting the same amount of money to be able to say, you know what, I am willing to stop working. So that's professionalism to me.
That's right.
That is being a professional. So,
basketball can put food on the table.
Yeah, and obviously sustain. I mean, my daughter's doing first year university. I need to be able to pay those fees. You understand what I mean? So I need to be able to now, I move from me to us. You know, she's playing at a higher level, obviously, at university. So I need to, that's more money that's required. So if we say professional basketball, then 97.885% of the people that were playing in BNL in 2015, I'm actually, Doozy is the one that's tipping the scales over. If it wasn't for Doozy, I think it would have been up to about 99.95.
So if you were offered the same deal that is offered to the international players at Tigers, would you take it? Whatever that deal is.
You see, you can't say whatever that deal is.
We've heard that what that deal is, but
you know, we always talk about how we say men are very visual, so I need to see it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what will make Nell say, all right, this is the kind of numbers. I mean, like we spoke to Coach Floyd. It's like, hey, drop $100K a month. I'll take it to the promised land. So you know, you'll say it like it is. So if they know what the price is, they know how to approach this. What's your number?
My number is very dependent on
it's political.
No, I'm telling you now. Listen, Kebi.
What's the number?
Yes, I'm 40 years old, Kebi. You know what? If you tell me you're gonna give me, let's say, 100,000 rand a month.
Oh, Coach Floyd
for 3 months. Let's say no.
That's right.
See, you gotta. If I say 100,000 for 5 years, yeah, sure, I'll take it.
All right.
But if you say 100,000 for 6 weeks,
yeah.
But you have to move to Cape Town.
Right. And leave your wife and kids alone.
You have to leave everything and obviously then things like the job that I have. And is that 200,000?
Is it worth everything else that you're leaving behind?
No.
Of course not. Okay.
So the conditions obviously vary, and
so basketball is not at that level yet. It's not ready for you.
No, I don't think so.
It's not ready for you because it's not long term. It's not sustainable.
At the moment,
so even if the number is big, it's not big enough to sustain you to leave everything else to.
I think and I'm talking guys, I mean both male and female. Is that basketball people, we have a very, very narrow-minded vision of how we can benefit from basketball. I always tell people that, yes, basketball did not pay me the amount of money with the amount of work that I've put into my craft. But then if you look at it and realize that I've got a university degree because of basketball.
That's right. So it has given you a life.
It took me to school.
It's given you a life.
What I mean? So those are the things that you always look at and think, I've got a job now. I'm sustaining my family and everybody else in my family.
Because of this
job.
Now,
because of the opportunity that basketball gave me.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So I cannot really say it didn't, but at some point you need to know exactly what you're worth.
That's right.
And that comes from obviously taking everything. So when you say, my days of being a professional in South Africa are done, I would say yes. Until, a contract comes up. Then we might just, unretire a la Jordan.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from him. I gotta stop right there because otherwise if we continue, this thing will last forever. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to a commercial break, come back with Juice, kill it with the lifestyle, and we're done. But for now, it's a commercial break. We'll be back. Welcome back to the break. My name is Kirby. Back is Juice, the mogul. You know how it is. Yeah, that's right. You heard it from my man now. I said it like it is. He says, the reason why his tongue went loose is the gunpowder Irish.
The luck of the Irish.
you gotta trust my man Juice to bring that.
Of course.
I wonder what he's bringing next. The next time around, but
Trust me with it. Absolute. Man, that was a very beautiful conversation.
That was a conversation. In fact, I wanted it to go on and on and on, but I don't know if guys got enough data to listen to the rest of the interview, so just gonna keep it low.
I mean, he's our guy. He's close, so we'll always hit him up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I wonder who's next up in here. He mentioned something like maybe Flosh has come around. So, hey, maybe we must bring the ex-national coach.
We must bring Flosh. But
let him sit here, let him tell us about what's going on.
Same panel.
That's right.
Because we'll end up,
He must tell us about what happened to the administration of Young Legends. And why some people had to be fired or at least walk away from the situation. Can't handle the heat.
Those are just fun situations, man.
That's right.
Fun situations, but again, this is all love and basketball.
Love and basketball, man.
Love and basketball, and this is what we do, man.
That's right. So we are now to the lifestyle segment. Just so you know, we got a little surprise for you next week. We're going to be featuring something else as we do this show. So production team needs to be on time so that we can feature the person that we're supposed to feature at the time that we're supposed to feature them. So you got to watch it live next week because it's going to be amazing. It's always about amazing conversations and amazing surprises. My man Juice here, he's going to be telling us about lifestyle. We did talk about Ricky Rick. God bless his family. But a beautiful event has been cancelled in his honor. What's your view?
So, Ricky's funeral happened on the 1st of March.
Tell us about his reason why we talk about him on the basketball show.
So, this is one of the biggest culture, let's say pop culture icons in Africa. Yes, easily known more as a rapper, but I think his impact on pop culture is one of the things and the reasons why he will always be remembered and celebrated. You look at things like, firstly you talk about the marriage.
We're talking about something serious with these damn dogs. Like seriously, production team.
They
can these dogs go inside the house, please? Production team.
So, firstly, the marriage between hip hop and basketball.
That's right.
Just off the cuff, and him being such a cultural icon, moving as a rapper, as a producer, and then also as a fashionista. They call him King Kotini, because of his more popular songs, Sihlu Kotini,
Right.
And you see a lot of young cats moving up with that confidence of being fashionistas. You see cats with him all the way to creating an event called Cotton Fest.
And the Cotton Fest is not basketball.
Right. The Cotton Fest includes stuff like skating. It includes stuff like basketball. It includes elements, fashion. That is one of the biggest celebrations of pop culture that you get in Africa. I had the honor and pleasure of being a DJ at the basketball event that happened at Cotton Fest a few years ago.
Where was it?
It was held in Johannesburg. Here in Johannesburg, there is it's a beautiful venue, man, just off of John Foster Square.
Look, I remember when he was playing the ESPN event and the BT event where we had like a whole lot of celebrities playing.
The MTV BET.
Yeah, I couldn't claim that I knew the guy. I mean, obviously he was in the same team. We were playing. It was good. Good guy. I love his music. I love his demeanor.
Yes.
God bless his soul. And unfortunately, it had to go the way it went. It is important for people to have their mental health checked, and it's okay. I'm seeing a therapist right now. I go to therapy, and actually I'm using it as my wellness thing, And unfortunately, between us, especially in the black culture, when you go to therapy, you make it sound like there's something wrong with you, You got food on the table, but you want to talk about therapist for what? It costs money, what? But
Absolutely.
sometimes it's why do you go to gym? You gotta take care of your body. Why do you go to see a doctor? Something is wrong. Why can't you see somebody who can help with realign you? And that's what I do on a regular. So every Tuesday I've got somebody that I go see, and just to make sure that I'm all aligned. That's why you see, I'm a wholesome man.
Absolutely.
So it's always good to have a...
And I think that is one of the elements that is not as talked about as it should.
Yeah.
And again, because it's such halabaloo that in our community that, what? He's living nice, but he's seeing a therapist, And about 10 years ago, I used to see a therapist, And one of the things that the gentleman said to me at the time, which still resonates to me to this day, is you can have a brand new car, beautiful car, but when that car hits 15,000 Ks, you have to take it to service, regardless of how spit and span it still is. It has to get...
I just dropped 20K on my service right now.
There you go. So now, why not your own mental health?
That's right.
Why not your own reconfiguration? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things that contribute to it. And it's so unfortunate that it's a lot of times it's just dismissed. The other day we were talking about Ben Simmons, that he hasn't played a single game this season. And in hindsight, someone can say, but he's got multi-million-dollar contracts.
Ain't about the money, Ain't all about the money.
Why is he... and it's not
always about the money.
You know what I mean? And
voices in your head.
You want to have those conversations normalized. You want to have, wellness and the signs read properly.
All right, Juice. You know what? All Juice is saying is go see a therapist. Let's move on.
Not just that, but be well. Be well.
Right. Tell us the Hennessy event, man. What would have happened had this not happened?
So Hennessy, with their partnership with the NBA, the Spirit of the Game.
Spirit of the Game. Okay, we gotta have Hennessy up in here, yo.
Yeah, we have to. But meanwhile, we got the Irish.
That's right.
So they've had some great events worldwide. One of the events was with a company that I'm part of in Australia, where they had a beautiful event in Melbourne. Oh, yeah, Melbourne Streetball Foundation.
That's right.
I told you that? Oh, shit, my bad.
Labels.
And then a few weeks ago, they had an event in Nigeria. And now the next leg of the event is coming to Johannesburg.
That's right.
So in Johannesburg, there is a tournament that's happening.
There's a court right here.
4 teams.
Okay.
It's a closed session, literally. 4 teams that will be playing for 100K.
What are the teams?
So the teams at the moment, it's closed in. No one is saying anything. All you know is that you're going to show up on the day and there's going to be 3 other teams that you're playing against. You don't even know who's on those teams.
Right.
You know, so that's why I'm saying it's a closed session, because it's a show up and fight type thing, you know.
Wow.
So
that's dope.
the event is going to be in Zoo Lake.
So how do teams know? Do you know a team that you know must just show up? I mean, we don't have to say it. You can tell me after the show, but you know one of the teams?
Yeah. There's a team called Chosen Few.
Oh, are they professional?
Professional killers. They're mercenaries. Okay. And word around the campfire is that there's also a team called Krinkum Krenkum. They are not just mercenaries.
But we know who that is. We know who that is. But you have already given it up.
So then there's other teams, you know. But more than anything, I think because like I mentioned the other day, there was still a bit of an embargo on it. And I would have actually preferred for someone from Hennessy to actually come in and actually give us the news.
Are you going to get us somebody from Hennessy?
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking to a couple of people, and I would love to have Homoto come up and be part of the show next week. Homoto is the brand manager for Hennessy, you know.
Hennessy, the spirit of the game, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is feeling like it's going down.
You might broadcast it.
Right, and yeah, you better be watching this channel, because we're going to talk about it and we're going to broadcast, and you know the sheriff is going to be out there.
Oh, might. Is that a might? Is that a definite?
No.
Is it a might?
You got to believe in this.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, Hennessy, the spirit of the game, it's all about the lifestyle, it's all about all of this. I want to see more than just this, more Hennessy going on, more of the break in the Hennessy environment, the Hennessy family. We're happy to go out there and broadcast. I was invited, I was VIP, but I don't even know what's going to happen now. Maybe the next event or whatever the new date.
So the new date is projected for the 11th of March.
All right.
Still on a Friday, the 11th of March.
Right.
So yeah, we'll just have to wait for confirmation. But
are there people coming out, spectators? I mean, we're already telling people. I might as well tell them where it's at.
I believe so. So again, we'll have Homoto come out and confirm everything to us.
So next week, Wednesday, Homoto is going to be here. We're going to talk about this.
Yeah,
he's going to bring some spirit of the NBA and spirit of the break.
He best do.
Spirit of the break, spirit of the
then
NBA.
We can also maybe replace the Wilson with the Hennessy ball.
That's right. And maybe our production team will get paid.
I mean, hey, you know, and have some of those Hennessy ladies.
What can we do? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kevin.
Don't sign out yet. I would love to send a special shout out. Coach Susan. She won the Coach of the Year at the Gauteng Women's Sports Awards, man.
That's right.
So that was a big one. It happened last Saturday.
Well done to her.
Well done to Coach Susan.
And the school she coaches.
Dominican. Yeah. So she's been doing her thing over there since 2013.
That's right.
So this was a very nice, pleasant surprise, and for all of us, you know.
That's right.
For all of basketball, I mean, we are a small community.
And this is Coach of the Year, the entire Gauteng, all of the
women.
All women, all of the sporting codes.
I believe so, yes.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Coach Sue.
Yeah.
Look, you should come to the break. Tell us about how all that went down. So you're always welcome, and congratulations.
Women Crush Wednesday. No, baby's watching. Shit.
Okay.
Baby's watching. Hey, baby, come
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kevin. He's Juice the Mogul. We're signing out. This is The Break, the only show that builds basketball one brick at a time. To my crew and everybody else, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Peace.